oh my God, there's a field of flowers. Like, I am that nutty person to do these things. For a long, long time, I was this grumpy German person who was just grumpy all the time. Because I get really emotional about that.
Oh, get right. We'll read it in as soon as we see a tear.
At funerals, we keep saying all these nice things about people. Why don't we tell them while they're still alive?
Yeah.
No matter what you have to live with, you're so valuable in your own right. You're not lesser than. You're not better than. You are just you.
Yeah.
Like jigsaws. I always love jigsaws. I love jigsaws.
Welcome back to another episode of Seasonal Discussions. And this time I'm joined in the studio by the wonderful Anne. Anne, right, before I go any further, I have to do this with every guest who comes on. Pronunciation of surname.
I don't care.
Take two for returning to Seasonal Discussions. Our technology broke, but it's fine, we're here. So, Anne, pronunciation of surname. We don't care.
We don't care. I do listen to a lot of things now, as in like that weird German wifey, that tall wifey. My surname, I do pronounce it Magarin, just because it sounds more Scottish, but that also then leads to people misspelling it, which, well, it's not the end of the world.
True.
So I've had to spell my name all my life.
Yeah.
So
as a McDonald, I can kind of feel your pain because people are like, is that MacDonald? McDonald? Is your someone thought my first name was Mick and my surname was Donald. And I was like, no, McDonald, the surname. So
yeah, but I got bullied for my surname a lot in school. So yeah, and also you get funny letters in Germany then because it's your Marguerite, like it's a flower.
Yeah.
Then or margarine and I'm like, really, but no, it's it is what it is.
It is what it is.
I decided at some point to maybe change it to my husband's, and then I was like, no, German bureaucracy is way too bad, so nope, I'm not going to deal with that. So I'll leave it now.
Yeah, it is what it is now.
Life is too short to worry and stress about these things.
Yes.
So that's why it's just helped with getting me to a calmer me, if you wish.
I wouldn't say calmer you. I don't think you calm is probably not the word I would use to describe you. I'm honest. On the few meetings and interactions we've had, I think calm is probably overselling it. It's just uncoordinated chaos. I think it's probably.
No, it's very coordinated.
Coordinated chaos.
But
sorry.
Well, sometimes it's the inside, there's part of me that's really calm now, so that the rest of me can run riot, because there's not enough energy for both.
Yeah.
And also, it's, I guess what I mean with calm is more positive rather than being negative all the time. That's probably that's how I was brought up, really. But it sucks the life out of you. So at some point, I made a conscious decision. Yeah,
to just be calm.
And just don't sweat the small stuff.
Yeah. I think that's a thing that a lot of people could take from life in general. Yeah. Don't sweat the small details. It's like you're probably not going to change them anyway. Yeah,
and is it important? Is it that important that people know how to pronunciate my surname?
Yeah.
No. Does it make me a lesser human just because somebody or them a lesser human? Yeah. No, they just don't know. So now anyway, that's a long way of saying I really don't care how you pronounce my surname, but
exactly.
That's the reason. That's the reason why.
We'll go with Anne as a short, and it's easier. But I won't
Anne with an E though.
Yes. Get it right, people.
There you go.
Get it right. There is an E, 2 N's and an E.
Exactly.
Not just one N, not just not E. Just spell it right. Say what you see on the screen and type it out exactly as. Now, obviously, you work for Chest, Heart and Stroke Scotland.
Yes.
Your work takes you all over Scotland, though. So although we're based in Aberdeen, we film in Aberdeen. You are here in Aberdeen. Obviously, this is real. You're not AI right now. As far as we know.
No, I am real still.
Still real, sort of. What what part of your job do you like? You says you enjoy traveling quite a bit. What is it about traveling that you kind of enjoy? Is it just the alone time in the car, or do you like just?
Oh, but, I mean, I always love driving, and I do enjoy driving.
Yeah.
Really, it's. I can't explain to you what it is really.
Yeah.
But I always appreciated being alone, and because then I could concentrate on my own thoughts, I guess,
Yeah.
without too much outside input that would confuse things or something. Being neurodivergent, as I discovered the last few years, it has its quirks, let's put it that way. And sometimes it's easier just to limit the outside input, I guess. And he can stop and visit cool places, and that tree looks great, so I'll stop. Or, look at that rainbow. Where's the next parking, thing? Or oh my God, there's a field of flowers. Like, I am that nutty person to do these things. And I have to take breaks driving anyway. So that's, there's rules, especially when you do it from work. So, and oh no, I have to take a break in this beautiful landscape, but the horror. It's just, that's great. But then it takes me to cool places. And I think 10 years ago, I would have constantly said, I have to go, whereas now it's I get to go. I get to go to talk to these cool people who want to support us, and then you get to know why, and you get this connection with people that I can now appreciate, and that is just a beautiful thing. And to get the message out, especially as well about what we do, and just try and do good, I guess. And I get to do that. That is my job. I get paid to hopefully bring some goodness into the world. Yeah. And that is just beautiful.
I think you do that as a person anyway. Like, again, we've only met a couple of times before this, and one of those was at a networking event, so it wasn't much of a chance to, get to know you as a person.
Well, then, you saw me. So, because I was at the chamber. And that was me speaking.
Well, this is it. And this is what we've said we want this series to be about. It's not about businesses as such. It's about people, because people connect with people. And you're saying you get to travel around, you get to meet people and meet cool people and do cool things and do positive work. And I think anyone who has ever met you would be able to say, yes, does good things, is good person.
Hopefully, that's what I aspired to, I think, to hopefully be that positive person, especially since I can recognize that I haven't always been like this. For a long, long time, I was this grumpy German person who was just grumpy all the time. Not that all Germans are like that. But I was one of those. And there's lots of reasons I can recognize that now. But I can also make the conscious decision not to be like that. Yeah. And with the world being the way it is, I think we can all, if we can all just try to do a little bit of good, then yay. Yeah. Hopefully we can prevent a lot of bad things happening.
I think you say the standard sort of grumpy German person. If you had brought the grumpy German person over here, I think it fits quite well in Scotland anyway, because we have that mentality of everyone finds us as a grumpy bunch, especially in the northeast. We're classed as the grumpy version of Scotland.
Funnily enough, the Germans I talk to that come on holiday, they all want to stay because it's so nice and friendly here and everything's so nice.
Really?
Yes. And what I learned, and that was the second I got off the train the first time I came to Scotland, was this calm that washed over me, this belonging for me, this is home, and feeling I've never had before in my life. But this calm that I then took back as well, because I had to unfortunately go back. And just realizing that you can slow down, that it's possible, and it's a good thing, and Scotland has calmed me and made me much more positive and more appreciative of what is around me and us.
Do you think that's a European thing as a whole? Because I've heard like I've spoke to a few sort of North Americans, people in America and Canada, and they say that Europe as a whole has this more relaxed, laid-back attitude compared to a lot of places over there. But then I think there's different aspects. So like the further south you go in Europe, I think there's more this laid-back, calm. You know, the old don't live to work, work to live.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I've ever felt that this far north in Europe. I don't know, is it?
Oh, I don't know, actually. I mean, the way I experienced, and that was my personal experience working in Germany. Whoa. Like, I mean, yeah, you got off work and there was no more work. Whereas here, I do think of work constantly, but it's because of the work that I do and because I just love my job so much. But I never got a thank you at work, no matter how much I did in Germany, no matter where I worked. And it was just like, why didn't you do that as well? Why didn't you do that? I'm like, I already do more than anybody else, but you're still not satisfied. How rude. And then once I handed in my notice, it was like, oh my God, like, what are we going to, you're taking all this knowledge away. I'm like, well, I'm happy to train somebody, but it's like, you could have said thank you before. You know what I mean? Like,
thank you goes further than people realize.
It's not like that. I think that I was like the best person ever, but probably wasn't anyway. But it's like, why can we not appreciate the work that we do?
Yeah.
You know, why is it so hard to just be nice and say thank you? And I always say, like, my English brain is much calmer and nicer, whereas when I go to Germany, you easily go back into old patterns, right? But I don't like myself like that.
You like who you are over here.
I like I mean, I can now, I think the last time I was over in Germany, people realized the change. Like, people don't recognize me anymore, really, because obviously I still look the same. But it's more that they don't, well, they see that my attitude has shifted, that I don't care for the negativity. Yes, there are things that we have to recognize, and there are horrible things happening, and they should not be sugar-coated at all. Things should still be called what they are. Yeah. Like, racists are racist, homophobes are homophobes. There's no sugar-coating, and they should be dealt with accordingly. But there's a lightness to life, I think, that is just so nice to have. And to just, even when things are bad, to say, you know what, take a deep breath. Yeah. Okay, what are the things that we can actually appreciate today? Like, what? Like, oh my God, this is great. Or like, yesterday, my sister in Germany, we texted back and forth about things, not nice things. But then she left me a voice message, and then I thought, you know what, this is easier to explain, just yapping. So I recorded her a message, which I think she fell asleep to because it was 10 minutes long, because you may have noticed I can talk. So it just kind of rambled on, and in between yawning because I was really tired as well. Keeping it positive.
Like, I want to send this message, but I'm just going to keep going regardless.
Yeah, apologizing. I'm sorry. But like, at the end, although it started off with not a nice topic, really. Yeah. But in the end, I ended with, like, this day has been so great because, once again, I can see the shift in our rescue cats, how far they've come, from being hidden away in the little cave I'd built them out of blankets and stuff, to make them feel comfortable. They'd never been handled before by humans, really. And now that they let me stroke them, that they let me touch their bellies, that I can check their paws in between the little, toe
in between the beans.
Yes, to see if everything's okay. They can check their mouths for, like, if something is wrong. And just to appreciate that trust, and that lifted me up so much, just recognizing that.
It's like no matter the negative that went before.
Like, how beautiful is that? Like, that these animals who obviously don't speak human, I only speak part of cat, but I don't have it here, you know.
It's the one thing I haven't seen on Duolingo, I must admit.
All right.
Every other language, but cat's not there.
So, or dog. So, you know, but still they realize that they can trust us. And to get that trust, to get that kind of level of trust from a human is, wow. Yeah. I mean, that's gift, right? But to get it from a being that doesn't even understand your language, it blows my mind every day. But that just lifts me up so much. And I get, oh my God, like, you don't let me ramble on about this.
No, go for it.
Because I get really emotional about that.
Okay, right. We'll read it in as soon as we see a tear.
So life is too short. We keep saying that, you know, and we keep, sorry, topic change now.
No, go for it.
But,
tangents?
See, that's my name, my middle name. But see, we keep at funerals, we keep saying all these nice things about people. Why don't we tell them while they're still alive?
Yeah. All these fun things that come out in eulogies about how great this person was. Is like, did we tell them this while they were here?
No,
able
exactly.
To hear it?
So like I try to, you know, at least, you know, on LinkedIn, and you know me on LinkedIn a lot.
Yes.
But to sometimes give a shout out about things and people and just amazing people. And I mean, once somebody's done it for me and I realized how much that meant, that somebody recognized my work. Still German. Being recognized for work is a great thing. So,
there's elements that will just never disappear.
They will never, no, they are so hammered into my brain. But how uplifting that was, that somebody actually recognized and appreciated what I was trying to do. And then I thought, you know what, if they can do that, like that one person can do it for me, maybe I can try and do that. It might not mean as much to them, I don't know, but I can try.
Yeah.
And then, you know, lift each other up and put smiles on people's faces.
You do that easily.
Thank you.
Sorry, externally, it looks like you do that easily.
I try.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, the little things we can do, and hopefully it'll make a difference. And if not, then at least I tried. You know,
do you put pressure on yourself to try and, at least at some point in the day, be like, oh, you know, I wish I could make at least one person smile today? Or is it just something that you think, hopefully it'll just happen?
It should come effortlessly, I think. It shouldn't be forced anyway. But like, so on Saturday, I went to the park in my Radisson because I had the jazzed up and ginned out. Yeah, that was the right thing. It's the right way around. Yeah. And I'd taken my husband, and he was pleasantly surprised how much he enjoyed it, which is great. Yes, good wifey points. But it was so well organized, and it was so lovely. And the people from the distillery, Aberdeen Gin Distillery, they were so lovely as well, and they took so much time to explain. I mean, yes, of course, they wanted to sell some things, but at the same time, they were just so lovely. So why not make a post about it?
Yeah.
You know, why not say thank you? Why not, when you recognize somebody needs a hug? And I don't want to be that close to many people. Yeah. Like, when I give a hug, that means something. Usually, just saying.
I've had a hug.
So it's, you know, it's a genuine thing for me, because I'm not that much of a people person, funnily enough. But sometimes you can recognize that people need that. And if I can muster up that, like, why not give it to them? Does it, you know, that's it.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier about, you know, your own journey, sort of your own neurodivergence discovery over the last few years, and saying there this, despite how it comes across to a lot of people, that you're not a people person. Have you found that aspects like that of yourself, not being a people person, maybe struggling occasionally in social situations, have been easier to understand now that you've gone through your own sort of neurodivergent journey?
Yeah, it is so much easier now to prepare myself for things. And as much as I can speak and ramble on and recite facts quite often, just random things, being in certain situations, or especially when there's a lot of people in the room, they will be noisy, there will be so many extra noises from paper like wrappers and clunking glasses and things will spill and it just everything gets registered. I have to prepare myself and I have to have enough downtime, and luckily I have a husband who loves to play computer, so he's you know I can just be on my own and have my own noises that relax me on. But yeah, no, it's easier to understand for sure, and it also makes me understand a lot of behaviors that I had or still have, I guess, grown up, and it makes it easier to be gentle with myself, to just say, look, you will not change the wiring of your brain, but you can adapt your own behavior to make it easier for you, for yourself, to still be able to do things. Like, I love my job and I have to deal with a lot of people. Sorry, I get to deal with a lot of people. But I have to, I mean, it's a prerequisite for my job.
Yeah.
I mean, the corporate fundraising, you can't do that without people. And being at events and cheering on people for 6 hours at the kilt walk. And, you know, or taking part in fun things like Edinburgh Marathon, which totally freaked me out because there were so, and of course I knew how many people would be there. I understand that, but it's just the amount of people who would not give you space. Yeah. And you can't see it on camera, I am quite tall, and people use me as a kind of guidepost, so they always, and you will know that, they walk past you all the time, and then you go somewhere where there's space, and then they fill up that space, that safety space that you built yourself. Yeah. And you have to prepare. So at marathon, I got so antsy. I noticed myself how this fire of rage was building inside of me, and it was pure rage. Yeah. And sometimes it just comes out. I'm sorry.
It happens.
But it's much easier to deal with now, and to recognize it and to like think through it. It's like, okay, this is why I do this. Okay, cool. Yeah. So now that I know why, I can maybe even work on it a little bit to make it easier on others and myself.
Yeah, I think that self-discovery journey is one that more people need to go on. Like I went on one myself. I was diagnosed with depression 6 years ago, I think it was. But I always thought, you hear depression, I think sad. You know, you hear something, you associate it with something. I never realised that depression can present itself as anger or manifest as anger. I was a very angry individual. That wasn't fun. It wasn't until I went and got the diagnosis and then went, okay, now I can start to understand things a little bit better, and you can start to recognise that in other people and maybe help them on their own journey as well. Yeah. It's
totally.
Yeah, taking that time to find yourself, I think, is a massive thing.
And I think one thing that is not talked about often enough, to yes, get the diagnosis, but not to make you feel bad or to be labeled as something bad. It's something you have to live with now.
Yeah, it's just it
but
just is.
It's there, but this to accept it and not say, oh no, now I'm lesser than. No, you're not. You're still so valuable. Yep. No matter what you have to live with, you're so valuable in your own right. You're not lesser than. You're not better than. You are just you. Yeah. But accept that you're you. You may have some restrictions in this neurotypical world that we live in, or you know, in general, the world that we live in that is built for. Well, let's not go into that too much.
Yeah, but the neurotypical that's built towards.
You know, that kind of world, and you cannot change the world on your own. We cannot do that, but we can accept ourselves and be kind to ourselves. Yeah. And then hopefully be kind to other people who are going through the same thing. Because I was brought up as a very judgmental person. That's how I was taught how humans were. Yeah. which I don't like. But by being kind to myself, I also learn to be kind to other people and to say, oh my God, maybe they are going through X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
Maybe, oh my God, maybe they are still bad people. It could be, but let's give them the benefit of doubt.
Yeah.
Because that's it's gentler and it's a nicer way of thinking and doesn't make you as angry.
Yeah, I think it's like you say, you can't change the world, but more often than not, you can change your own purely by your own ability to accept yourself. It's like that old, a lot of people say, oh my God, they're such a selfish person. It's like being selfish isn't a bad thing because you're the center, you might be the center of the universe, but you're the center of your universe. Well, so if you're selfish to yourself, cool, as long as it's not to the detriment of other people.
Thank you for throwing that in. No, but especially mental health, it's such a big topic and rightfully so. But we need to be kind to ourselves so that we can be kind to other people as well. Yeah. I think. Because, Yeah, you need that. If you can't, it's the old people-pleasing mentality, I think, a lot of the time as well. Some people they can be one way with someone else, but can't be like that to themselves. I think when it comes to kindness, you have to be kind to yourself, because if you're not, then... The anger can just be fester, and it takes up so much, and not just energy, but it blocks out the beauty. Mm-hmm. And then they can't see all the lovely things that are happening, and they can't even smile at a stranger in a non-creepy way. Yeah.
Just smiling at strangers.
No, but story, right? Yeah. Sorry.
No, go for it. This is what we want. Stories. We're here to tell stories.
So I was painting the big hallway in the house yesterday. And so I left the front door open so that it can air out, and people in the streets were walking past, and there's a guy, he's deaf, I know, because he tells me, he told me again yesterday, and I think he gets overlooked a lot because nobody can speak BSL. Neither can I. I can spell my name at the moment, I think, and say book and things like that. So very, very, very rudimental. I need to change that, actually. But for me to just acknowledge him and, try to communicate in the very limited way that I can, you could see him smiling and lighting up. And then he stopped again on his way back, and he tried to explain to me, he stays somewhere there, and he has a house, and he lives in that house up there and stuff. And just these little things of not ignoring people, it's just, you can tell sometimes in their body language how they're suddenly more upright because somebody acknowledged them. And that can be a change, a little thing, and it doesn't have to be. Maybe they're just annoyed by me trying to be nice. It's possible. I'm sorry.
Maybe they've just had enough.
Yeah, I'm sorry if that's you. But sometimes, we're so, the world is so full on. We have so much information at our fingertips. But that kind of, we shouldn't forget that we're a society that lives together and that we're made out of individuals. And in order for some of them not to be forgotten and almost discarded, as it happens, unfortunately, I think, in our society, just to acknowledge each other's existence can mean the world.
Yeah, we're not a hive. Humanity isn't a hive that all operates on exactly the same brainwave, and everyone being exactly the same and thinking the same and driving towards the same goals and trying to honour one individual king or queen. Yeah. it's not, yes, we have kings and queens in the world, but it doesn't mean we're all striving towards the one goal of making them better. It's, we are, we are a collection of people. We are a collection of individuals. And there's three of us sitting in this room just now. We do have a producer who's hiding over in the corner.
Hello
producer. It's C. Learning. But there's three completely different mindsets in here. Yes, we might agree on some things. Yes, we might disagree on other things. But we're still three individuals. Yeah. And that we can still achieve great things as individuals or as a group or just...
But it's so nice to collaborate as well and to, to exchange these ideas, because then maybe maybe then we change our mindsets.
Yeah.
One of us or all of us, but make each other better.
Yeah.
In a way.
At the very least, there's that education share, there's that information sharing, even if it
Yeah.
doesn't make a change, even if it doesn't lead to anyone being different or thinking different. At least I now understand a bit more about that person.
Yeah.
And I can appreciate their approach to things.
Hopefully.
Well, this is the thing. I think it's one of the reasons I wanted to get you in for this, because like just from that first session at the chamber, that maximise your membership thing, just from there, your energy, your approach, the vibe that you give off, to not be too cliched with it, was just like, this is a human I want to talk to.
Thank you.
This is a human I want to interact with.
I mean, I do get very passionate about things, and there's few things that I hyper focus on. I've always had a hyper focus on, or since I moved here, or like jigsaws. I always loved jigsaws. I love jigsaws. I love jigsaws. Can't say that enough.
Are you restricted to like 1,000-piece sizes, or you just go for give me huge?
Yeah.
Is 1,000-piece just like entry level?
Yeah, 1,000 pieces is 10 hours.
Cool.
Like that's it, and that's with
It
the
took me like
border,
3 months.
and that's with the border done last. By the way.
So no,
Yes.
all right. Oh, hang on. Right, before we go any further, border done last.
Yeah, otherwise it's too easy.
What? I have to do the border first, and it still takes me ages.
No, but it's.
How?
I think it's I managed to recognize the pattern, like as in. It depends on the jigsaw, of course. There's some that
Fair.
my favorite ones don't have any picture.
Okay.
Like they're silver, black,
Just
gold. I actually need the pink one, and I have the full collection of it. Yes, and because I loved. Youngest kid in the family, right? I wasn't allowed to do the grown-up jigsaws, so I definitely wanted to do them, right? That was the goal in life when I was 3-4 years old. I needed to do the grown-up jigsaws, so when people went to bed, I would get up late at night to put... yes, that was me.
other kids are like sneaking out and playing things. I want to do the jigsaw.
Yes. And then I still have the very first jigsaw that I was given by my big sister, 500 pieces. And like that feeling that it still gives me to do this, because I'm a grown-up now. I know, it sounds silly, but it still gives me this joy.
Brilliant.
So I still have it. And I have jigsaws that I do according to problem size.
Okay.
So they are, for me, problem sorting tools. But it's, I think I learned to see the pattern. So when somebody picks up a piece to put it somewhere, I can say, and it's not fitting. It's not going to fit. It's not going to fit. Please do not put it there.
Stop trying to push it.
Yeah, but it's one of the few things that can really just calm me immediately down, and I can sit forever in the same position to just, do that. Yeah. And there's some that take me forever, and some... and I do them again and again, yes. Yeah. But if you give me new 1,000 pieces, it's usually 10 hours, 12 max. So, but it's, even if it's a picture the other way, like I don't see the picture.
Yeah.
Like it's a brain training thing as well. It's lovely. But yeah, I do get obsessions, obviously. Rugby is one of them.
Yes.
So you won't be able to see on the camera, but the toenails are painted for the Lions tour that's upcoming.
Obsessions.
Not that it matters to them, but it matters to me that I try my best.
Yeah, it matters to you, and you can see them every day.
Yeah. So if I look at them, but I know they're there.
Yeah,
that means
I'm aware.
But yeah, so work is an obsession. And that, I mean, it's
do you go through the hyperfixation phase where it's just like one thing, or is it like ongoing, just constant?
Maybe.
Box opened.
No, so
things everywhere.
No, so jigsaw at the moment, it's jigsaw needs to be done.
Yeah,
because I get antsy if it's not done.
Fair.
Oh my god.
The pieces.
No, I like to start a jigsaw actually in the morning, like
Okay.
for 10 o'clock, so that I know it's done by the end of the day. But that is not a joke. I will sit there for 10 hours.
See, the fact that you can do that in a day as well is what gets me. I can do like, I'll stand and do one for 20 minutes, half an hour, and then I'll come back to it the next day and do the same, like 20 minutes, half an hour.
It riles me up if it's not finished.
Yeah.
Oh my God. The problem then is with, like, if you have 5,000 pieces, then it obviously takes longer. And
Yeah.
I had jigsaws that took me 2 months to finish. I mean, to be fair, at the end I broke off a relationship because that was the problem that it was about.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that person knows that was the case, because he actually had given me the jigsaw. And we moved flat in between.
Yeah.
It was back in Germany, obviously. So... But
So
they're
when
really
you do
good
the
tools.
jigsaw, you like break them down, they go back in the box when they're finished,
Yes.
and then you'll redo them, or
Yeah.
is there any that you keep? Like you'll go, I'm really proud of this one, I want to like frame it, have it somewhere ready to go. No?
No, because that's not the point.
Okay.
I mean, I will not do any, like, it's not that I will do any jigsaw. Like, it doesn't... I've had it that people had, like, nice pictures, they wanted them done as a jigsaw, but didn't have the patience, I guess, to do them themselves. So then they asked me to do it, and I did it for them because it's a jigsaw and I can't help myself. But I would have never bought it for myself because I find the picture repulsive. Because
that has to be one of the most niche business market ideas possible. Someone who will someone really loves a picture that's on a jigsaw, but they don't have the patience to do the jigsaw, so they pay someone to complete the jigsaw for them just so that they have that completed part at the end.
But you were one of the, not the best thing ever that happened, but it's probably in the top 20, if not top 10.
Yeah.
So we went on holiday in the Lake District.
Okay.
And we wanted to find some food. So we drove around to find a place where we could buy some food. Like, as in junk food.
Yeah.
And then I noticed at the corner of my eye, a jigsaw shop. And I was like, honey, stop the car. And we walked in, and I was initially disappointed because we were like barely in jigsaws, and it was like toys and whatnot. I'm like, well, that's false advertisement. And then we walked up the stairs because I noticed along the staircase there were jigsaws.
Okay.
And the higher we got, the more jigsaws. And there was like a whole upper story. It was just jigsaws. I was in heaven. It was so beautiful.
Leave me here. This is our holiday.
Honestly, I wanted to move in there and just do every jigsaw, one by one. I'd still be there. There were so many. And yeah, my lovely husband, he was very kind. He bought me 3.
I thought you were going to say he was very kind. He left me there for the day and picked me up on his way home after.
We were I think close to closing time anyway. But oh my God, that feeling of look at the variety. Yeah. And oh my God, they have this. I've been looking for this jigsaw forever. They had the black version of the just one color jigsaw. Yeah. I was like, oh my God, that is so cool. And that was so good.
Do you say they're one colour? Are they like shaded through varieties, or is it just one solid block of colour?
It's just black. You can tell that some of them, they fit, but they don't fit. Yeah. Because there will be if you look at it at an angle, you see that there's vertical and horizontal lines on it, very, very faint. Okay. So you can check whether the piece actually fits. Yeah. But it's just one color. They may, one of them has it's a spiral, so you kind of know where to start. Yeah. And now they're 654 pieces, or some of them 750. So not many pieces, to be fair. But the very first time I did the grey one, I was 14. I still remember. It took me 2 months to do it. And now, because I know exactly where the pieces go, it takes me 5 hours or something. Yeah. Boom, 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 boom. But it still brings me a lot of joy to do it.
So is this like a series of them as well?
Yeah, there's 4 of them.
Okay.
So there's the grey one I had first.
Yeah.
Then there's the black, the gold, and then the pink.
The pink is the one you're still outstanding.
Yeah. But just don't need to. No,
If anyone out there has the pink one.
I know where to get it.
No, but if anyone has one, drop it into our studios. We'll make sure it gets done.
Thank you if you do, but I know where to get it. It's just like, it's been a mad few years, to be fair.
Yeah. No, that's a mission. We're going to find it.
Yeah, I know exactly where to get it. So
Yeah.
don't worry. Yeah, I mean, there are a few jigsaws that are on my bucket list to do. Like,
I guess the most random bucket list I think I've ever heard so far is jigsaws. You know, people say bucket list and they're like, oh, it's a place I want to go or a thing I want to do. I have a bucket list of jigsaws.
I mean, we can go to the places. I mean, I can tell you exactly where I need to go. Like,
some people have got like the Maldives or the visit. No, I'm going this specific jigsaw shop.
Jigsaws are not cheap, hey? So
no, I know.
For a long time, I just didn't have the money
to
buy them. Now I spend a lot of money on charity stuff. Like, that's like to give my money away. Yeah, but there's some jigsaws that I like. The 35,000 pieces. I mean, holy moly, I would love to do that.
How big is
it's
something
huge?
like that? I was going to say, because I'm used to the 1,000-piece ones, and they're big enough.
My main issue with the bigger jigsaws is that they're usually separate pictures. And I would just like to have a 35,000 jigsaw that is one picture.
Yeah.
Not made out of smaller ones. But, I mean, it would take me years. Because, the sorting process, which always goes before anything else, would take me not 4 hours.
Yeah.
Like, for 5,000-10,000 piece one.
It's weeks.
Yeah. And also, it would take forever. But, oh my God, the satisfaction I would get out of that. Oh, especially the last piece.
Have you ever had the terror of almost finishing a jigsaw and thinking, hang on, there might be a piece missing here?
Yes.
There's nothing worse. I've had the destruction of missing 2 pieces.
I have 2 jigsaws that have pieces missing, but I still keep them for value. And I once had a friend who knew about my obsession, also the obsession that nobody else is allowed to put down the last piece.
Yeah.
That's very... I will take them out.
That's
and
sacred.
put it back in. It is quite secret. But who hid pieces of jigsaws, and he knew I would do them quite soon again.
Yeah.
Because for a while I did my jigsaws over and over, very all the time, because I had to process so much stuff. And then he would give me riddles where to find them because he'd hidden them.
Did that help or hinder?
Oh,
because I'd imagine your brain would be quite good with riddles.
The rage was building.
Yeah.
The rage. Anyway. Let's not go there. No, but it's... I'm at a point now where I can deal with it.
Yeah. That's the calm has finally settled in again.
And also I know what it looks like, the whole piece. So it's fine. And it's more about the process and it's fine. But yeah, no, jigsaws are great.
Do you read a lot as well?
Yes and no.
Yeah. Because I think a lot of people find like reading is a great thing to help with the calm in the brain, but it sounds like you have the jigsaws as that option.
Jigsaws sitting at the sea. Just sitting at the sea and just hearing the waves.
Yeah.
Hearing whales.
Okay.
Like you can find it on Instagram and all that. The whales that sing.
Yeah.
Oh, so calming. And watching octopuses. And yes, it's octopuses, by the way. It's
not octopi.
It's not octopi. There's a reason for that. I've forgotten the reason, but it's octopuses.
But there is a reason. Google exists.
Yeah, exactly. But watching them like swim and dance through the sea just is so calming to me, which is weird.
Yes, I'm the opposite with octopuses. They freak me out.
They are so clever. I love them.
Yeah, but they just look weird to me. It's just that slinky into spaces. There's a video that floats around. I don't know if you've seen it, but the octopus that like gets itself into this tiny hole.
Yeah, but when they just float through the sea, it's so beautiful. But yes, reading. I love reading.
Yeah.
I go through phases, and there are books that I read every year. Or I used to read every year for sure. One I still read every year. And then I have this obsession of having books and buying books. I claim they're really good insulation. Keeps the energy costs down.
Yeah.
Also, having worked in charity shops in the past, you accumulate a lot of books.
Can imagine.
And then I try to read books in the original language, the ones that I can read in. It's not that many, but it's, so you do accumulate books. And I love to read. But I'm very picky with my authors because some don't work with my brain. Like the way they write, it's...
So that was going to be my next question. Are you like a fact over fiction, genre, style, just whatever takes your fancy at the time?
I learn from whatever. Like if there's a fact in a book that is curious in a novel, I will Google it. And then I have to learn something new, which is great.
Fair.
I have a small library about things like from dog and cat training and veterinary stuff to psychology to languages to anything really that is interesting, which is pretty much any topic that's interesting. Like astronomy, awesome. Not that I understand much of it or can do the math, but it's just so interesting. So
I struggle with sort of that. I have psychology books in the house. I have, learning materials. When it comes to reading, I need something that is completely broken from reality. Give me fiction, give me fantasy, give me vampires, werewolves, zombies, anything that is completely chaotic.
Don't like that.
Needs to switch it's the only thing I can use to disconnect my brain from things.
That is interesting. See, I don't like, there's one author, that's not true actually, I've had to change it, but there used to be only one author where I can dive into an actual fantasy world.
Okay.
And then, I do like Terry Pratchett. Again, he's quite cool. And I can read him, like his style of writing is quite cool. But other than that, I do prefer just like things that are set in some kind of a reality that could happen, I guess.
I see, but then I believe that the zombie apocalypse will happen. So
okay,
that's
kind
fair.
of no, that's, if that's what you believe in, that's fair.
In fact, to be fair, no, that's a bit of a lie. The zombie apocalypse could happen, but it won't, because vampires are real and they will never allow their food source to be completely taken away. So that's how I process the fact that a zombie apocalypse.
That's fair. No, I respect your...
That's post-apocalyptic stuff, I suppose, is the easiest way for me. I am joking, by the way. This isn't legitimate. I'm not completely losing my mind. Partially, not completely. No, but there's amazing books out there. There's amazing authors. But it's sometimes, because I want to read so many things, it blocks me from actually starting to read. Yeah. If you know what I mean? So it's that overabundance of there's too much and I can't focus on one.
What we're going to do. Yeah. So I do usually have, like, when I'm in reading mode, I usually have 2-3 things at the same time that I read, like, depending on the day or the time of day. Like when I'm on holiday, it's like, we have this great National Geographic magazine, and we have then Scottish history there, and then I have this novel, and but actually we're in France, I need to read something French, so let's buy a book in French, and then you read them all kind of at the same time.
It's that overstimulation of, I have everything, now I must do everything at once.
Yeah, but you can't.
Yeah.
So which one do we start?
Where do we begin?
Yeah, but that's, it's just fun.
Yeah, I think so. I'm conscious of time, and we don't want to keep you because you have meetings this afternoon, and this is a big thing, but I do want you to come back in and talk to us again, because what you've just said there about having so much to cover and not knowing where to start is exactly how I imagined this conversation would be anyway. In that there'd be so many things we could talk about that there's not a chance we can do justice to a conversation in one time. So are you up for coming back in and chatting to us again?
Yeah, well, you know me, I can talk.
Yes, you can, and we love that.
And you guys are so lovely, and you guys are so interesting. So
I'm glad someone thinks so.
No, I do. And it's a genuine thing, like I like that.
Yeah. Well, before we wrap this one up, we do ask our guests before we go, so we're kind of putting you on the spot here for something. We want you to suggest someone to come on Seasonal Discussions. So recommend anyone that you think would be great to talk to or would have a wonderful story to tell that we could get into the studio to sit and chat with.
Well, the first person that comes to mind is because she is awesome, and we talked about her already today.
Yeah.
Is Suzanne Todd, because she's amazing.
Yeah, Suzanne, first warning.
The thing is that Aberdeen has an abundance of beautiful people inside and out.
Yeah.
And I love that. It's not recognised enough, I think, how many awesome people we have that want to do good, that want to make the world a better place. So, yeah, but Suzanne's always a good start.
Yeah, Suzanne, your name is on the list.
Sorry.
You will see this video. You have been tagged in the post for this video. The shout out is put. If there's anyone else who has any other suggestions for people they want to see on seasonal discussions, leave them in the comment section down below. And don't forget to follow the page so that you can keep up to date with all the future episodes. And of course, Anne's LinkedIn will be posted down below as well if you want to keep up with the chaos that is. And if you have that pink jigsaw, get it in. Don't let Anne go and buy it by herself.
No, why not?
Well, because if we can provide it as a little thank you for coming to see us, it would be greatly
I appreciate that.
But yes, we will get you back in for another episode. Thank you for sparing the time to come in and chat with us today. It's been greatly appreciated.
Thank you for finding me interesting enough to...
If there's anyone watching this who doesn't think Anne's an interesting human being, please just get yourself checked out as you go. Next episode comes out next Monday. Stick around on the LinkedIn page for it. Thank you for watching.